What a day for the Pike River families, a victory for the little people of New Zealand. That's how many of them are describing the decision to go ahead with a manned re-entry of the now infamous mine. It will finally happen in February of next year. Next Monday will mark 8 years since the explosion at the West Coast coal mine. 29 men were killed. It has been a long, arduous and emotional fight for the families to get this far. But when the decision was finally made public in Wellington this morning, the message was as simple and to the point. We are returning. Our political reporter Craig McCulloch was there.
8 years of emotion bubbling over with a decision at last to re-enter Pike River.
We can do this. We're going to do this. Thank you, everyone.
Anna Osborne's husband, Milton, died in the West Coast disaster, one of 29 men who went to work on November the 19th, 2010, and didn't come home. She, along with Sonia Rockhouse and Bernie Monk, have battled relentlessly for the mine to be re-entered, to be searched for remains and for answers as to what went so wrong.
To the Pike River families, to New Zealand, we are returning.
Andrew Little is the minister who approved the plan. Workers will enter the mine through the existing entrance tunnel. Officials had considered 2 other options, but deemed that the simplest and safest method. A start date has been set down for February.
It's been a long, emotional roller coaster, but today I just feel elation and all our hard work has paid off, and it's just amazing. It's a great, great feeling.
It's history in the making here today, I feel.
But for the families, the battle doesn't end here. Mr Monk hopes new evidence will be found and criminal charges brought.
Look, I want justice, I want accountability, I want the truth.
And Ms Rockhouse feels the same.
There are people that need to be held to account. 29 men were killed and everyone's just walked away.
The police will now undertake their own risk assessment and decide whether they will enter the mine themselves or leave it up to those more experienced. Police Commissioner Mike Bush won't speculate on future decisions, but fresh charges could be possible.
We've got a very open mind on this investigation.
The family members want to go into the mine themselves, to go as far as 170 metres into the drift, but Mr Little is tempering expectations.
We don't want a whole bunch of people without the skills and training to be in there. Now, we can review that, we can reassess that, but I agree with that piece of advice. As this project starts, it'll be a very tight group of people who will be authorised to enter the drift.
Regardless, today's announcement is a gigantic leap from just 14 months ago. The then national government had ruled out sending people into the mine, saying its advice was that it was unsafe to enter. And today the party says its position remains the same. The Pike River Recovery Agency has driven the planning process, consulting experts from all around the world. Its chief executive, Dave Gawn, is confident the operation can be completed safely.
It is genuinely safety first, and if we have that uncertainty, every one of us has to have the courage to say, no or stop.
But today the focus is on yes and go, the families claiming a victory for them and the country.
It's been a very long and hard fight, and one that we should never have had to have.
Everyone got sick of us and didn't want this job to happen. And we had to go out there and find all this evidence, and we shouldn't have had to do this. But we've done it, and I know that this job can be done. I know this whole job can be done.
$36 million has been put aside for the operation, up from the original $23 million budget. Atu iti whare parimata mō te hōtaka o te ahiahi, ko Craig McCulloch.